Hello, hello, hello. I'm just giving it to the 3 minute mark before I get started. Excuse me. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. I'm just giving it to the 3 minute mark before I get started. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, kingdom people. Do you hear what I hear? I'm just waiting for the 3 minute mark before I get started. Hello, 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 and thanks for joining. Kingdom people, kingdom people, kingdom people. I'm looking at these different titles on my TV that's showing up. It's on the home page, and it's showing just different, I guess, movies. You know how I go across the different things they show, what you can watch. Anyhow, it's catching my attention because I just turned the music off and put it on the home page. So, because I'm getting ready to sit on the couch and watch TV when I get done here. And so, anyway, Kingdom people, hello, hello, hello. Thank you all so much for joining. We are now at 3 minutes. Hello, Sir Beck, Nima, Ardent, Rajiv. Thank you. Same to you. Merry Christmas to you as well. I am doing well, Mason. Thanks for asking. I don't know. It all depends on what it is. So anyhow, hey Kingdom people. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining. Um, so I have a message for you all today. And I was led to go live today. Yeah. And God had been speaking to me about, he started, I want to say yesterday, probably Sunday evening, and talking to me about this, how the enemy wants to stress you out. And so I was reminded of, hello, 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 thank you, Nada. So I was reminded of, I want to say it was on Thanksgiving Day. I had went in Quick Trip. I love Quick Trip. Found my way in there on Thanksgiving Day. I forget I had to go get some. Oh, I needed some chicken or some kind of broth because I had used up all the broth on everything else I cooked, and I forgot to save some for the dressing, right? So anyway, I ran in quick. I went in one. Both. I don't. That one not closer. They're about almost the same distance, just in different directions. They didn't have it. People had already went in there and bought that stuff up. So I went to the other one, got it out of there. So anyhow, the young man that checked me out has said that he said, "Oh yeah, you need it." He was just pointing out that you need this, for cooking. I said, "Yeah," and I explained. I was like, I ran out, used it up, not thinking to keep some. I was going broth crazy. As I cooked my greens in broth, I had tried a new recipe for the turkey that required broth. So I meant to save some for the dressing, but I forgot. So anyway, I had to go to Quick Trip. The young man was saying how his mom was having, he said she had a panic attack. And I was just looking at him like, what? And then he was saying because she forgot to a pie that she's supposed to cook. She forgot one. Forgot to cook a pie. And she was just stressing. He said she was stressing and tripping and having a panic attack. And I was like cracking up. And I was like, over a pie? And he said, I know, I guess she just, and I said, well, I guess she feel like everything got to be right. It just has to be right. But he was like, really, she was tripping, like for real, stressing, panicking. And that had came to mind when God was talking to me about how the enemy wants to stress you out. He brought that to me. And then with the holidays, the Christmas holiday, ensuing, he was just showing me how people be stressing out over, and these are good, I guess, good things, making sure your pads, you got all your pads, you got all your food. But to stress over it, it's an issue. And God was just showing me how the enemy will have you stressing even over the smallest things that ain't even, come on. And, it's just not that deep. And even like I said, on Christmas, same thing. And many people stress out over trying to buy gifts, and some people go in debt trying to get gifts or back spending money they don't have, taking out loans. I wouldn't say go in debt, but I had children. I really did it more so for my children. But just, make a big deal out of it. And so, but when God was pointing out to me how people be stressing over it, when God was showing me how people be stressing, he was just saying, the enemy wants to stress you out. And he'll use even little good things, even supposedly good things that's supposed to be pleasant and enjoyable. And so this morning he brought to mind Martha and Mary when Jesus was there. And it was Martha who was cooking, preparing the meal, getting everything cleaned up, getting everything together. And Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet, just sitting with Jesus and listening to him, talking with Jesus or listening to him, whatever they were doing. She was with Jesus, which was very important, by the way. And Martha was tripping. And Martha even told Jesus, hey, Jesus, don't you see me working, getting all this stuff together, preparing this meal, and Mary not helping me? Aren't you going to get her? Aren't you going to tell her to come and help me? And Jesus said, listen, Mary why you, basically, Martha, what you tripping on? Why you worrying? You stressing? He ain't say these words, but I'm just, doing my own little twist to it. But he basically like, Martha, you tripping. You stressing over something that, not that it's not important that we eat. Jesus was like, he didn't say that, but Jesus liked to eat too. But not that the food wasn't important, but he said, Martha, relax. Mary has chosen the good thing, the good part. And he said, and that won't be taken from her. And so, what's important, specifically in this holiday season? Jesus. Not going crazy trying to buy gifts. Not that you can't, if that's what you do, if you participate with Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, and you're led to buy gifts for your loved ones or whatever, by all means, do what you do. But stressing over it is a whole nother thing that God, it's not his will that we stress over it. But it is the enemy's will that you stress over it. Because the enemy want to stress you out over anything, whatever he can stress you out over. And I'm going to get to more of that in a minute. But I just want to hit a little bit over. I had mentioned some time ago, not that long ago, how God was dealing with me concerning pagan holidays. And it was right after Thanksgiving. And that I mentioned it. And I remember someone commented and said, I do it. It's nothing wrong with it. I do it because it's cultural. This is what you do culturally and traditionally. It's what you're taught, which is true. But and then she said something like, you could just tell people that you don't see it the way that they do. In other words, you do it for your own reason. And so it wasn't a thing where someone is asking me. It was literally what I said. God is dealing with me concerning this. Not that somebody is telling me, trying to tell me. I've heard different things and I've heard people speak on it, but I've always taken the stance that I'm like this across the board with anything. God has to personally deal with me about things and tell me. I let God lead me. If He want me to not do something, or He want to show me to something different, or move me away from something that's not the ideal thing or not His way, and and maybe it was just something I did because that's what I knew. That's what I grew up doing. Um, that's what I learned. It's a learned thing. It's just what you know. And all things that you learn and what you grew up on are not necessarily good things always. Not that this is that not good, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's just what we know, how we grew up. And so we just kind of continue with that until God tells us differently. Well, tells me differently. But that's the case for many people. And so my point here is to say that it was not that someone was saying anything. I don't have to address it or tell anybody. That's not the way I see it, because no one's questioning me. I was just sharing how God was dealing with me on it. And so I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I want to say, and then another young man, he's mentioned something like how, God helped him to detach. God does lead people in that way for whatever reason. Now, like I said, my stance had always been, well, not always, but for some time since I became aware of, that whole concept, or not even concept, but pagan, it being a pagan holiday, possibly. I'm going to say possibly, because again, depending on what it is for you, how God leads you in that, not necessarily. So, God initially said to me, don't do it the pagan way. So then I had to look to find out what is that. So when it all came down to it, what God was showing me, because then He had me read, I want to say it was either one of the books of Timothy or Thessalonians. One or the other, I can't remember which. But Apostle Paul was talking about how don't do certain things or celebrate the holy. Don't let nobody kind of steer you away from doing things the way that God leads you, or God's way. And don't let nobody make you feel bad or tell you you're not of God, sort of speak. I'm kind of paraphrasing, because you don't celebrate the holy days. And what he was emphasizing was following the Jewish law, and how those teachers, those false teachers is what he called them, tried to make it seem like circumcision was needed, and you had to follow the Jewish law to be a follower of Christ, which wasn't so. Jesus came to fulfill the law. Not that we're done away with it, but He fulfilled the law. It's the belief in Jesus Christ. It's us having faith in Him. That is why Christ came, and why we don't have to be condemned by the law, so to speak. Well, the law, that's what it did, condemn. But anyway, not trying to get too much into that. My point is to say that I was, when I came across that, because the Apostle Paul said, don't do it like the pagans do it. So what he was saying, I can't remember. I probably should have pulled that up since I'm mentioning it. But he was basically, when I really got down to it, pagan means, though, he said it, those who don't know God. So that's what God was pointing out to me. Don't do it the pagan way. See, pagan people, or the pagan way, people who celebrate so-called pagan holidays, they don't know God. So they don't do it in a way of honoring God. So for Christmas, the way God gave it to me, we honor Christ. There ain't nothing pagan about honoring Christ. So I'm just going to leave it there. For some reason, this wasn't even a part of what I was going to speak on, but that just came to me. to mention. Um, Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you. Bless you and your family. Hey, Mr. Intricate. Thank you. You have a good day and Merry Christmas too. I guess Sky Daddy. Anyway, going back to the message. The enemy want to stress you out. So listen, I've been having these little different experiences. Like I said, it started off with God talking to me about, the holidays and people be stressing out. But then he took me through certain different situations that I've had, I say over the last year, that stressed me out. And it was designed to do so. But God had to did, and it was understandable stress. Because it revolved around, how you're taking care of your business and you're doing what you need to do, and somebody on the other end is not doing their part, so it caused the problem and it could affect you. It was kind of like that, and it happened 2 different times with this particular organization and that I was working with, and it was a problem because of the way that it could affect me because of the way they were not handling their business on their end, and it kind of stressed me out. And so I'm just kind of like, the second time it happened, I'm just like, I can't be doing this. But what God was showing me is that I can't be stressing out. But he also was showing me that I need to kind of dissolve the business that I have with this organization in particular, because they didn't handle business. I mean, it had been proven, and 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be something else. And I want to say it has been something else since then. No, it hasn't since the second time. But I ain't trying to take no chances. God already gave me my instruction to remove myself. And then I had seen other little things and signs where I'm like, they not kosher. And there's a lot of demonic activity running throughout the organization. So God was just kind of giving me my cue. Yet God put me there in the first place. And I experienced this in a lot of situations. I was about to say we, because many of us do. So anyhow, different other situations, people do things. You know how the people, they're ones that be on acting crazy with you, and the ones that try to annoy you and aggravate you and get reactions out of you, even them witches that be doing all these spells, and the ones that want you stressed out, want you to not do well, want you to lose your home, want you to lose your job, want you to lose your income. They be on some crazy stuff. They want you to lose, but really what they also want is for you to be stressed. And God was just showing me this, how the enemy knows his people. So he uses people. Who behind it? Who behind it? Them people, the enemy. Not literally behind, like he backing them up. He use them, but he don't back them up. But he behind what they do, because it's his spirit that's operating in them. And so God was just speaking to me. He was saying, stress kills. Stress kills. And it does. We know this. Stress kills. And so, many people who have had strokes, heart attacks, and some other things, health injuries, so to speak, I guess that's what I would call them, or ailments, come from stress. Even that C word, I don't even want to say it. CA, not the CO. CA, the one that's taking a lot of people out of here. That can even be a result of stress. Not always in neither of these cases, but majority of the time, it is. And yeah, stress, we can cause those things. And even with the CA one, sometimes when people are just mean and just harboring a lot of bitterness and resentment and hate, that's stressful. That's stressful to your system. That's stressful to your body. And it can create that CA, cirrus, thing, that ailment to, inhabit your body. And so, anyhow, I was reminded of, too, today, some years ago. I want to say, I was trying to remember, it's been a long time ago. It was about 18, 19 years ago. I used to get migraines. I had never had migraines before. But then I started getting these migraines. And I went to see my doctor about it and everything. That's how I found out they were migraines. So now I'm taking this medication for migraines when I would get them. But I would start paying attention to when I would get them. And I would notice it was when I was overthinking, like rolling stuff around in my head intensively. Hard. And not that I was stressing per se, but it was stressing my head, my brain. My mind was stressed. That's why I would get the migraines. So I stopped doing that in that way anyway, like hard and hard thinking. I stopped doing that, and the migraines went away. I never had them again. And so also around the same time, I've had around a certain period of time in there, I had a few strokes. Mild strokes, I would call them. Now I didn't go to the hospital, the doctor, nothing like that. I just knew I was having a stroke. I knew it. And then the Holy Spirit would show me. But I also knew what I was doing to cause it, and I would stop. And what I was doing was stressing, allowing myself to be stressed. And so I would stop and ease up, and then the stroke would go away. I know it's not that simple, but I guess I was catching it before it finished. I would feel it coming on. That's why I called them mild strokes, and I knew I was having a little mild stroke. But I always was able to, be aware, because I know my body, and I just knew that's what was happening. And then, like I said, God would show me. So I chill on that. And that happened, I know 2 times for sure. I want to say possibly 3. This was years ago. So what I was doing to cause what I realized was causing it, I stopped doing. So, as I said, up until recently, this year, actually, I had a couple of situations that I was really stressing out over something that was like, it wasn't really something, it was something to be stressed over, but I didn't have to be stressed, but that was the way I responded. Like I said, because of what happened, what was going on, how it could have affected me, it was overall resolved both times. And so I just was reminded of all that today. And God was just showing me the devil be wanting to stress you out. The enemy wants to stress you out. And again, even people, people like that just be on one with you. And I don't know, for some reason, I'm thinking of bosses. That's what's on my spirit, bosses. Like in the workplace, some people, they're supervisors or managers or whatever. Sometimes when they be on one with you and picking on you and doing stuff, those of you who experience that, or giving you too much work, sometimes they really do be wanting to stress you out. They want to stress, they want to oppress you now, is what I'm hearing. And oppression is stressful. But behind all that is the devil, because whose spirit is oppression? Whose spirit is even trying to stress someone out? Now, it's one thing for you to be stressing yourself, but another thing when someone is trying to stress you out. That's the enemy. That's the enemy. And so God was just really showing me how, we have to be mindful of that. And that's one of his tactics, especially now. And so now it's always been the case, but especially now, because who isn't concerned about their livelihood. When I say concern, if something is, what's the word? Jeopardizing it, so to speak. If something, we were our security. We all want to have our stuff, ducks in a row, so to speak. We want to have our business taken care of. Those of us who take care of our business. And especially like I was saying about the situation, those couple of times that happened, I was doing my part. So it's not like I was being reckless. I'm not really reckless like that. I like my business taken care of. I like my stuff to go a certain way. Which is a lot of why, how they say the devil wants you to give up, the devil wants you to quit, which is part of why I can't, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't just let myself go, because I like my stuff a certain way. I like certain things. So in order for certain things to happen, and for me to get to certain points, and me to get that desired outcome, I have to put in the work. I have to do my part. So yeah, that don't work. That's even more stressful. Not doing what I need to do. I'd rather deal with the attempts of stress. And I say attempts because when the enemy is attacking you or using people to do whatever, he do all kind of goofy stuff. That's an attempt to stress you out. I just had a situation where someone sent the email about a certain thing that I had to put together. And once me and another person that I was working with, once we took care of it and put it together, they came behind it. Once they gave us the information, we got everything taken care of. They came behind and said, "Oh, I have to check and see such and such and such and such a." If that's the such as, I don't want to say too much about what exactly it was, or just give too much information because it's confidential. But me and the other person, we didn't say nothing to each other, but we both kind of was thinking in terms of why you didn't do that before but we didn't go there. I just simply let her know, the person she had to get that information from, I had already asked them about it. And this is what they told me, which is why we're using, what we're using, And also I let them know that person is on vacation. So that was that. They never said anything back. And this was like a couple of weeks ago. And so the week before last. So that was that. And I mentioned all that to say that God was showing me that this person was looking for a reaction. Even though I responded and I addressed, let them know. I was just letting them know. But God was just showing me that they wanted me to. And then something happened prior to that too, where they were mentioning something, about a different situation, ran down some information to me and said, well, I stand behind this with the exception of, and it was just like real. And it's like, this is a person who you normally speak to me in that way, in that tone. So it just kind of came out of left field. They was like, I stand behind this with the exception of, but I could just, like, it wasn't even necessary to say I stand behind. It's like, it wasn't a fight. So I was just asking about some information that was presented to me because it just didn't add up from other information, which one thing was off. So when she gave the explanation, the first few items, I said, okay, that makes sense. But the last one, where she said that was the exception that she didn't agree with, she was right because that one was off. But I even responded and said, oh, when she explained, I said, once I went and looked over the overall, report, that makes sense. Because at first I didn't look at the overall report. I just went off of the previous work that we had done and how it had been consistent. So, and then we were using the new software and everything. So it just, how with new software, it's kind of like it's new. So it might still have some kinks in it, and that be doing its job effectively, efficiently, and you find out what those are, and then they correct them, and how new things can go. So anyway, that was that. But I mentioned that to say that what the it was just the thing being one thing behind the other with this person, where God was just showing me they trying looking for you to react. And the last thing is holding some stuff up that we need to be getting through. But that person want me to stress. God was showing me this, and they were surprised that I wasn't pressing the issue because a week has already passed. But I'm telling God, I told this person that they were on vacation. I don't know how long they were on vacation. They didn't tell me all that, but I had already communicated with the person that they wanted, the person you get this information from that does this part. And I had already did that, so we can finalize what we were doing and what lady I was working with. So anyway, I let her know, well, this is what she said, and that's why we're using this. So I said, by the way, she's on vacation. Such and such and such is on vacation. So God was just kind of showing me, this little person looking for me because it's holding up what we need to be doing. And again, like I said, for us to get it done at the deadline, but it is still going to get done. See, I know some things that they don't understand that I know. And because I know, but they looking for me because it is holding us up. And again, this person should have did that if you wanted to do that in the beginning. Not after you give it to us for us to work on it to get it done. And now that we're done, you're saying you can't sign off on it because you got to find out that's what you should have done in the beginning, not at the end once it's done. Because let's just say thanks, it was changed. Now we got to redo it. And it's not a big deal. We would just have to make that one little change. To just change everything once we make that small change. But it's not a big deal. But the point is, God was showing me that you have to, that this person was trying to stress me out. Wanted me to be stressed. And it's just weird because I thought about it today when it came to me early this morning. I'm like, it's all the holidays and stuff. And that's what you on? And it just made me wonder, what's miserable in your that person? I don't know, because I don't know their personal life like that. Like that would make you want to be doing that, but we know it's a spirit. Sweetie, I'm not a college dropout. I actually got several degrees. Anyway, you probably are. I've never been to college though. Not that I have to say that to prove anything to you, but that's just dumb. College dropout, even if I was. So, anyway, what they got to do with anything? Anyway, candy people. See, people be trying to make you stress out. It ain't even nothing to stress out over. Not that. Anyway, candy people. So I'm just stressing the issue, or the stressing the point, should I say? Don't be getting stressed out because the enemy wants you to stress over small things that ain't important, because it really isn't. But even where it comes to the bigger things that are important and that really matter and that can really affect us, God is saying he don't want you stressing then. And then he gave me these two scriptures. The first one, Matthew 11:28-29, and it says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls." And what stood out to me, what God pointed out to me is, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. God want us to have rest unto our souls, not be stressed out. And, I'm hearing the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus came so that you may have life and life more abundantly. See, if you're stressing, the devil he's trying to kill, steal, and destroy. Again, stress kills. And even where stress doesn't necessarily kill you, it can cripple you. It can cause you to have all kind of health issues and problems. Other things can do that too, but just speaking particularly about stress. See, what God said to me too, he said, even if you don't kill you, He just wants you to not be living your best. Because if you having all these health ailments and all these health ailments, I said ailments. If you having all these health issues, you're not your best. Not that you can't push through that, because sometimes it ain't because of stress. Sometimes I'm hearing it's for the glory of God. I'm reminded of when they asked, was this person sin or this person ailment? Were they blind? Well, some of you all know. Was it because of the sins of their parents? And Jesus said, no, this is for me to reveal my glory. I want to say that's what it is. But sometimes that's just what it is. People gonna have stuff. God's people who are very much so upright before him. It just is what it is, but God will still use them. And it doesn't stop them or hold them back or nothing like that. God can use even them with whatever that is that they have. So I'm not saying that in all cases it's, when people have ailments, it's because of stress. Now, when it is stress can cause you health issues and health problems. And it causes you to not be your best. And God was showing me that the enemy will do anything he can. Now, he used other things. Wants you to be other things too. But, God was specifically talking to me about stress in this case. So that's why I'm talking to you about it, because he told me to speak on this. So anyhow, sometimes when you stressed out and you got all this stuff going on, you just don't feel like it. And so again, you're not going to be your best. The enemy, his whole thing is to keep you from being who God called you to be. The devil don't want us to be whole, healed, nothing missing, nothing broken. Like the scripture tell us, that's what we supposed to be. That's what our perseverance produce. And that's the enemy. Remember, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He tries to keep us from that. And then one of the ways he does it is by trying to stress us out, which is why so many of your things are being attacked. And I'm hearing relationships, finances, just attacks from people being attacked on their job. And that's coming to me again in the workplace, from even co-workers, because you walk in the light, many a times, because you're walking with God. They coming against you. They're trying to stress you out. Sometimes they be trying to run you out of there. And this is the thing. If you have to leave your job, everybody knows we need money to live. I'm hearing money answers all things, all financial things. But so that's the way that they be trying to stress you out. Because either you're going to stay here and take it and get your money, or you're going to quit and now you ain't got no money. Not that you can't get another job. But the point is, they be trying to stress you out. They be trying to be a problem. And so, again, the enemy don't want you to be who God created you to be. So in that sense, it's designed to make you shrink, make you stop walking with God, serving God. I'm reminded of Job, how after the enemy, God allowed the enemy to do all that to Job. Job would not curse God. He wouldn't curse God. The devil wanted Job to get so stressed out by what he was experiencing, so broke down, so broken, so feeling like God wasn't with him, God deserted him, that it stressed him out to the point of him saying, forget God. Because the devil knows if you forget God and walk away from God, you will never become who God created you to be. See, the devil be trying to stress you out so you won't be who God created you to be, so you won't walk in the blessings that God has for you. And again, when he's attacking your finances, when he's attacking your relationships, here's the thing that I'm reminded of Job again. When it was all said and done, Job prayed for someone else. And when Job prayed for them, what happened? God gave them double. He restored them. And he stored them double of everything he already had. And the Bible say literally everything was double. It even gave the numbers from what he had initially. When you go back and look at what he had initially, the numbers were double of what he had from what he had initially. But I'm saying that to say, when the enemy is attacking you, even in your finances, God is going to give you better. So I'm saying there's nothing really to be stressed about. I'm looking at again Matthew 11 and the end of 29. And ye shall find rest for your souls. And I'm hearing enter into his rest. So when you rest in him, when you come unto him, even when you labor in every heavy laden, let's just say you got a little stress. Come unto him. Because again, there are situations where that it's understandable that if you feel a little stress or a lot, it's understandable. But God is saying, come unto him. Jesus saying, come unto him, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And he wants to give you rest unto your soul, because he don't want us stressing. Stress kills. Isaiah 26:3 says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. So we have to trust in God, even when our stuff is being attacked, even when people trying to aggravate us, even when our relationships is on a whatever. The reason why I said whatever came to people. And understand how I mean this. I'm not going to say I don't care about relationships. That is not what I want to say. I ain't caught up like that, because relationships to me is going to do whatever you do with them. In other words, it takes two. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that I know, so I don't believe. I have that stance because I've experienced some things where, listen, I don't have time for none of that. I'll walk some things out alone if I need to. God will bring the people in my life that he said fit to be in my life. So I'm not caught up on relationships. However, I'm not encouraging you to not be mindful of, taking care of your relationships. It's just that my point that I was making was, I just want to address that. I was like, whatever. That ain't something that I love. I love people. I love people I love. It's not that I don't have any good relationships. And that's the only relationship that I'm willing to have are good ones. I guess that's why I said whatever, because where I was really coming from, where if the enemy is attacking a relationship, remember I said it takes two. The other person has to not let what the enemy is trying to do succeed. I can't be the only one doing that. See, it's so crazy that I'm on this, because I was just thinking about this again today. God was just talking to me about this again today, because the enemy will use anybody he can. And because of when you are who you are, you walking in the things of God, when you start leveling up and God is calling you higher and you going with him, the enemy is going to go into people around you, many times in your own family, household, just in your vicinity, workplace, whatever, whoever he can use that's near you, that has access to you. That's who he has to use. He can't use people that don't have access to you. But he used them because, and the way he can use them is because they have open doors. The enemy is accessible, can access them. And so I mentioned that part to say, when you're in a relationship with someone, and if the enemy can access them in his effort to attack the relationship, that's probably a relationship that it's time to let go of, because you can't they got to not be accessible to the enemy themselves. And the way that the only way to really do that is to really be walking up right before God and letting him clean up those areas and not be having open doors for the enemy to use. Because the relationship is doomed. And I'm just reminding how the scriptures say how households will be divided, how your enemies will be those in your own household. And that is many a times because if you serving Christ for real and you allowing him to tear off all that stuff, clean up all that stuff, remove idolatry off of you, you know. And the reason why I say remove it, because sometimes we have idols that we don't realize we have, but God will begin to reveal things to you as you surrender to him. And that's the other part of that. You have to be surrendered to God for real. You have to be surrendered to Christ. So if when you surrender to him and the person around you or whatever case may be, anybody that's not the enemy will use them. He will use them because they're available to be used. And so just point out why I was saying relationships like whatever, because anybody, and again, the only way that they're not, and you will know them by their fruit, because when you see somebody allowing the enemy to use them to ultimately destroy the relationship, then relationship destroyed. What can you do about it? You're not responsible for the part that they have to play in shutting those doors. You can't do that for them. So, and I'm reminded how Jesus say, if you don't, whomsoever does the will of my Father is my family, is my people. He ain't say that, but in essence, that's what he was saying. He says, my mother, my brother, my sister. It's like you got to be, and if you see that someone is not there, and it don't always mean they're bad people, it just mean they're not at a place, they're not elevated enough, they're not matured enough in Christ and growth to not allow the devil to use them. So that's going to cause a rift in your relationship anyway. But the point here is this. What was I talking about, King people? Let me just read the scripture again. Maybe it'll jog my memory. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. So, instead of stressing, you got to trust in God. Trust in Christ. He's going to keep your man in perfect peace. I was reminded this morning of these daily devotions. It's called Jesus. One is called Jesus Calling, Jesus, and the other one is Jesus Always. I read these daily. I switch them out. One year I read one, the next year I switch out another to the other one. They're actually in my description box, all the way at the bottom of my descriptions in my videos. They're there. They're daily devotions by Sarah Young. And they help me so much to remember to keep my mind on God, to remember he is with me, to remember don't be tripping on stuff, don't be doing this, just keep your mind on him, know that he's with. They're very good about helping with that. So just wanted to point that out. I just thought of that. But the enemy want to stress you out. So how do you keep the enemy from stressing you out? First of all, you have to make up in your mind too. You're not getting ready to be stressed. Because that's part of what I had to do. After those couple of incidents, and the second time I said, I can't be doing this. God said, no, you can't. And God said to me, you can't be stressing. Don't respond to it in that way. And so he pointed out to me, he just pointed out different things to me. Like, don't we always get things resolved? And it's true. So what's all the stressing for? Well, I knew what the stressing was for because I didn't have control over what was happening. I'm doing my part, but somebody else is dropping the ball. And so I didn't have control over that, so why stress over it? Even if something was going awry, it is what it is. God allowing it, so God must got a plan. God must be doing something. So trust him. Keep my mind in perfect peace. Find out what he's doing. Trust him and move with him. See, that's kind of what I had to start doing with that. And I also know too that, and this was the case with these situations too, when things are getting like that, God is doing something. Many a times God is dismantling something because he's taking you into something better. And in these situations that I'm just spoke of, that's exactly what ended up happening. That's exactly what was happening, what God was doing. He would begin to show me and speak to me what he was doing and how he was showing me how to make my exit into the next thing that he had for me. So anyway, Kingdom people, even though that's the case, God was in all that. He wasn't necessarily behind the problem that was happening. He allowed it. He knew it was happening. And he also knew that it was designed to, because the enemy want to stress you out. The enemy wanted me stressed out. But God, you know how they say what the enemy mean for bad, God will work it out for your good. That's exactly what he'll do. And here's the thing, when you know you're with God, when you know you're walking with him, when you know you're doing your very best to be obedient to him, to walk upright before him, you following his lead, you're doing everything you need to do. Do that mean you perfect? No, but he sees you as perfect. He sees you as perfect. And he's perfecting you, should I say. He sees you as perfect, the same thing, because he know your end. He knew your end from your beginning. He knows what he's making out of you. You just have to go with him. So if you know that you're doing that, you can trust God. You can trust him no matter what's happening, no matter what's going on. Yeah, the enemy want to stress you out, but God wants to keep your mind in perfect peace. Because it says here you would keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. He wants to keep you in perfect peace. Why would we need perfect peace? Why we need to trust in him? What's perfect peace for if everything is just, well, when things going on, when the enemy trying to stress you out, you can be in perfect peace in the middle of a storm. You can be in perfect peace in the middle of trying to get them holiday gifts. You can be in perfect peace while you trying to prepare their meals. You ain't got to be stressing out. I'm laughing, but for real, because some people do be stressed out. Just like Martha was stressing out. She's like, girl, and you just listen, follow Mary's cue. Come sit, my child. Relax. But Kingdom people, the enemy wants to stress you out. Don't let him. That's the main thing. Don't let him. Whether he trying to kill you, the enemy gonna do whatever he can. He want to kill you. He want to destroy you. He want to incapacitate you. He wants you to be bound. He wants you to be sick. He wants you to be debilitated. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. What just came to me when I did that is if you have a stroke. Sometimes people, it takes time for them to recover from a stroke if they ever fully recover. They're not the same many a times. Not always, but sometimes they not the same. The enemy like to, again, that don't mean that God can't still work with them. God can't still see even if a person of faith, great faith, who God is with, have a stroke, God's going to work that thing out. But what I'm saying here is, don't be letting the enemy stress you out. Don't be letting his tactics and his tricks now stress you out. I said that because I was ready to say something, but then I changed my mind. And I'm going to say it. I'm saying this. I'm saying this. So I already know. It's going to be something. I don't even want to speak, and I'm just not going to. Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm not even getting ready to say it. I'm not going to say it. Let me read some comments. Hey, Lady Summer. Wait a minute. Where you go? You changed your name. I just seen your profile. Jehovah. Oh, yeah, Lady Summer Queen. Jehovah's Lady Summer. Okay. Rest of faith. I'm trying to just go back to where Mr. Intricate say, not your clown, not your circus. I know, right? Natural face looks good, bad. Thank you, Marcel. No stress. That's right, Marcel. No stress. God ain't trying to stress us out, even with trials and tribulations. And I'm just reminded of Jesus. It's one of my favorite scriptures now. How Jesus, when he said, I tell you this so that you may have peace. You are going to have trials and tribulations. Many. I think it say many. Some versions say many. But he said, but I already overcome the world. And he said he tell us this so we can have peace. So we're going to have trials, tribulations. And then some of them trials and tribulations, what comes with that? Stress. But he said, I tell you this so you can have peace. So instead of peace, instead of stress, with them trials and tribulations, have peace. Jesus said, I tell you this so you will have peace. Because he already overcame the world. Again, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Think about that, steadfast. That means you ain't budging. You continuing. You're going to keep moving with God. You're going to keep moving with Christ. All this stuff coming at you, trials and tribulations, whatever else, people playing games, people trying to trip you out, these spirits in these people, or these spirits jumping in these people just for you. Because, yeah, they either jump in them just for you or they get activated in them just because of you. You be trying to figure out, like I was sharing, this lady who don't normally talk to me, it'd be cool. Like all of a sudden, she just started rolling her neck at me. And I'm like, but I knew what it was. When I do that, that's me noticing what's going on. See, at this point, I know what it is. Okay. Spirit didn't get activated in you. Boy didn't jumped in you. It wants to, the enemy, she was a good vessel to use because of what we were doing. And then he had tried this already and tried that and tried her and him over there and tried all that. And then like, this lady not budging. So let me try this. Let me try her. Yeah, her do some dumb stuff. And talk to her with her neck rolling. And I was just, and the way I responded came to people, that was cool. I'm like, this letting you know, whatever. I don't be doing all that. I can no fool. I don't even want to. I'm not interested. That ain't the way to get things done. Acting a fool. I just heard weak. Or should I say immature? It can be weak though. Because some people think that's strength, but it's not. That's actually weak. You can talk and get your point across without, and when they on one and you don't respond that way, I'm hearing turned away anger. A soft answer turned away anger. Like all that, and my answer is gentle. Just to let you know. I mean, I ain't getting ready to be stressed out over this. Because when it's all said and done, and God showed me that she's concerned about that too. I want to say this happened yesterday, Monday, because the whole week that went past. This was last Friday, not Friday from last week, but the Friday before that when all this happened. So, wait a minute. Yeah. Yep. Something like that. No. It happened Monday. I talked to the lady Friday, and that's when she let me to get the proper information that we needed. She told, I said, if you want, you could just wait till Monday. I just need you to know that, And she said, no, I'm going to take care of it now because I'll be on vacation. She said, I'm going on vacation. So that's how I knew she was going on vacation. Glad I had called her, but it didn't matter because old girl was on one. But last week passed. So yesterday is when it was on me, when God was showing me she's concerned now. the lady who wanted to hold up everything to get the information that I had already gotten, that she should have gotten in the beginning, but I wasn't even looking at it like that when I did. I wasn't thinking she should have did this. I was just being proactive, knowing that this is information we needed. So I got it. I got it done. But this lady has to sign off on everything for it to be finalized and pushed through. So anyway, she's concerned now. God was showing me this yesterday because she didn't hear from old girl yesterday. Probably because she's still on vacation. I don't know how long she's on vacation. Then it's the holiday weekend, so they off. They were out today and tomorrow. So now she getting concerned, you know. But and she probably really do have to know herself that this is what it is. It's kind of almost like I did her job for her without even trying to or think, but she knows that she has to make sure that that's what it's supposed to be. So, you know, rolling your neck ain't me at me. No. But you know what came to people? These people be trying to stress you out and they end up getting stressed out. Listen, I don't want to go too much deep into this. Oh, we're an hour into this. I'm just going to tell y'all a little something. Some of y'all I shared this with. Not some of y'all, whoever was here. I said some of y'all. I had a witch neighbor that lived downstairs. I was sharing with y'all. She gone now. That thing, that's what I started calling it, it. She was a witch. God showed me. And it was very obvious. Started becoming very obvious. She would be down there going crazy, banging. I'd just be chilling. And she would position herself sometime out in the elevator, you know, just try to be where I was because she would listen. You know, she was stuck. She was a monitoring spirit under me, listening to my footsteps. But anyway, that thing was down there going crazy. Buck, wow. I kid you not. And I just be. And that don't mean sometimes it didn't get on my nerve, but I wasn't finna respond or react because that's what it wanted me to do. Not just, that ain't why. Didn't want to. I know this too well now. I did go off several years ago on somebody. And I got it then. Like, oh, that's a setup. And when I tell you I went off. Like, I did though. I went off. But that ain't the answer. But I learned from that. I learned then. That's when I got it. When it clicked. Oh. Because that could have caused me a lot of problems. Thank God it didn't. But I knew right then. I seen it. It was so clear to me. They be trying to get you to snap and go off, react, because they trying to stress you out, but they trying to mess you up. They be trying to mess up your life. Anyway, going back to it that used to be down there. One day the maintenance man was taking care of something up in here. I think it was that alarm that was going on. And I don't be messing with them things. I let them do it. But he said something to me about another person. He said that, because he made a statement and said, I appreciate the way you keep your house clean, your apartment clean. I really appreciate it. And he was like, because a lot of places we go in, you know, I go in. And I said, well, thank you. I said, but I don't do it for you. I was like, but thank you. Because I don't keep my house clean for you. But I was like, thank you, though. And so he went on to say, such and such and such a, in such and such and such a number apartment. Her house, she moved. And her house is a mess. Like, there's a lot of work that got to be done. And he said, well, she got put out. But when he said that, it hit my spirit that the person downstairs got put out. And I hadn't felt any life from down there for that week, actually. For about a good week, I hadn't felt no life. Come to find out, that thing is gone. Now, they was working on that place down there, and that person wasn't there a little more than a year. They was only there for a little more than a year, but it's like they had a lot of work to do down there. Well, God ended up showing me that nigga tore that place up down there. That thing was mad as Hell. For one, it wasn't getting what it was trying to get with me, and then it ended up getting put out. What God showed me is that thing wasn't paying its rent because it was too busy spending this money trying to get others, the people, the practitioners that do the spells and the black. They need to get some more other people on me because what they was doing wasn't working. They didn't spend their money up, not paying their rent on me. Look, I just heard trying to get me put out. And I'm just saying that because that's part of what they be wanting you to do. Lose your home, not have nothing, lose your. Anyway, God showed me that thing went off now. Another one across the hall. It was a dude over there. He used to be on one. Now, God never showed me he was no witch or nothing like that, or what he. I guess that a male would be a warlock. I guess he never showed me nothing like that. But he used to be over there being on one, monitoring spirit and positioning and stuff, and coming out the door, listening. And I don't be saying nothing. No, that's what be funny. I don't never get nothing because I ain't up in here just talking. I mean, when I do talk, I ain't talking loud. But anyway, God was showing me how that thing was on one with me. And God was telling me to leave her alone. Stop focusing on her. Stop trying to mess with her, And then God was even showing me how that person was bothered because it felt like I was handling my business. I'm independent and doing all this, and I'm a woman, and I'm doing this and that. Like, man, a whole man, mad, because I'm handling business. And, if you look at me, you will see, I mean, it's like you look like you're well taken care of. But he was mad and was, I'm just, because that's what the feeling I was getting. His ego was bruised. Because I'm taking care of myself. But God is taking care of me. Let me be very clear. But I do what I do with God's help. Because I couldn't do nothing if it wasn't for God. But listen, that dude used to be on one. Why? I could feel it. Because all of a sudden he started being, when I would get up sometime in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and sometimes if I didn't go right back to sleep, I'd sit there for a minute. I would hear him coming in and out of his door. When that started happening, it was weird because it wasn't normal. Not that I'd be up, listen, in the middle of the night listening, but I just knew this is not the norm. So at first, I'm like, is he on drugs? Because, I know sometimes, not that just because you up in the middle of the night going in and out your door, you on drugs. But that's a drug addict behavior. I know. And I've seen it, too. I've seen it. I know it when I see it. So that's what I was thinking. Like, is that what's going on? And then I'm trying to be aware, what's going on around me a little bit, which is part of why God allowed me to hear it. But then next thing you know, God was telling me he got to leave. God started showing me this. He got to leave. God said he not paying his rent. And then he had some lady come in that I guess he was all of a sudden started being with him. And God was showing me he asking her for money, asking her for help. And so that was really making him mad because he need help. And he a man. Next thing you know, came to people, he was gone. I was like, this other chick over there now, been there for about a good 6-7 months. Same thing. Before I even knew actually who she was that was over there, I would just hear her making noise, just trying to get attention. So I'm like, oh boy, I know this. So one day I met her or whatever, and that was that. Didn't really interact with her much outside of that, even though she would try to, and I just kept it real short because I already knew what she was. I could see it on her. And she was one of them kind of people. The first time, before I even knew, one day I was on the elevator coming from the garage downstairs. Got to the first floor. That's where she got on with some other people. And there was some other people in the elevator. And the elevator door opened. She was like, oh, there's a the most people I've ever seen. And so right away, I didn't even know that she was the person that stayed across the hall from me, though, yet. But right when she, just shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I knew this, because she was just all over the place. And then, you want to let everybody know this the most people you ever seen. It was just weird, you know. And, because people here be, for the most part, minding their business. Now, don't get me wrong. People be doing what they do. But they mind their business for the most part. And they going about doing what they doing. And I don't think in a hall looking for people. It ain't people just hanging around out in the hall coming and going. It's a quiet place for the most part until somebody just decide they want to be on one. But anyway, as we getting off the elevator on the same floor, we walk in and she said, oh, she asked me my name, so I told her Latricia. And she said, oh, my name is Tricia. Her name's Tricia, y'all. So as we walk into it, I'm realizing she going over there right across the hall, and I'm going. And so that's when I realized, oh, that's old girl across the hall. I didn't know I didn't know if it was a lady or not. I just with him going in and out, making all this noise to be heard. So like I said, I knew right then, okay, there's somebody looking for some attention. So when she opened her mouth, so when I realized that was her, she, like, okay. So what I'm getting to is she be on one. But like I said, I won't engage her. I don't when she doing all whatever. She have moments, then she'll go calm down. Well, God gave me wind today. He be knocking over her head. By the time she recover and heal from that, then she go again. That's why she lay low for a while. Because she got to recover from getting knocked over on her head, in her head. Last week, God revealed to me that this chick is a witch. He revealed to me that she a witch. Then he put her face in my face, and I could see it. I'm like, God was showing me this lady be over here trying to do spells on you. He started showing me a little after that, she paying people. And it's wigging me out. It wigs me out because I'm like, that's the same thing with the person downstairs. So now, guess what? Last night, I'm up, going to the bathroom at 2-something in the morning. And I go to the bathroom a lot in the middle of the night. A few times because I drink water, a lot of water. And I drink it throughout the night because I be thirsty. So it's have water on my nightstand. So I heard her, go in because I could hear her keys coming up. And then I heard her come out a little bit after. I go back to sleep. 4 some I'm up to use it. I hear the same thing. She go in, then she come out. And so now I'm like, is she on drugs? But she is actually. She is. She got a lot of stuff going on. She is. But and so God told me she moving out. And that's the same thing that the other man was doing. Not other man, but the man that lived there before her he was moving out in the middle of the night quietly, but I could still hear them going in and out of their door. And so God said, no, she moving out because she ain't paying her rent. Because she been using all her money to pay for stuff, paying people to try to take me out. I had a moment today just thinking about that. I was like, witches are everywhere. But God said, yeah, because the enemy put them there. Because the enemy is after me. But God allowed it to, because a lot of what be going on, God is be developing stuff in us. Man, I told you, I went off at one point. But these days, I wouldn't go off on what's going on. I only went off one time. But that's what they want me to do. They want me to engage. See, them demons like to feed off of you. They need that. That's how they feed themselves. And then they want your energy because they're vampires. These things are energy vampires. They need your energy to fuel themselves. And they know you are the light. That's the best fuel ever. So they need you to, if you want. But what I've learned with them two witches in particular, because I wouldn't deal with them, they they tried to get me to deal with them by trying to get my attention, doing things, making noise to get my attention, which was weird to me because when I wouldn't deal with them, they started doing the same thing to try to get a reaction out of me, to still kind of draw me in. But they was trying to stress me out. The reason why I mentioned them was because they was trying to stress me out, King of People. But they end up being stressed out. And I remember even the thing downstairs, before that thing was gone, God was showing me, I didn't know why, but God was showing me they had a lot of stuff going on. They was going down. But he was letting me know because they messing with you. Like, and he said, I remember God told me to stop praying for them. I knew it was over for them then. But God was showing me he ain't tell me what, but he was showing me that they got stuff going on. And God even said they need your help. Tell me they need my help. How they put me in it? Because they were stressed out from being put out, getting put out. They were stressed out from getting put out. They was trying to stress me out, but they end up being stressed out and then trying to get me to bail them out. I got bars. Same thing with this chick. The fire alarm in the whole building went off the other day, early in, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. We get up. It had to be on the weekend because we didn't have to go nowhere that morning because we weren't dressed yet. But yeah, it was either Saturday or Sunday, I forget. But the fire alarm in the whole building going off. It do that every here and there. So I go, I always go in the hall to see first, if it's any smoke or whatever. But anyway, so I want to tell my daughter, come on, let's get your stuff on, let's go. So we always go when that happens to the car and go leave. And so I was like, let me just go ahead and go get some coffee. So we, as I'm bagging out, I see her walking up. Now, I never seen her down there before, but she was looking straight. I don't know where she was going, but God said, I was shocked to see her, and she was looking real stressed out. And she got a little puppy, too, so he was there. She was looking real stressed out. It was weird. And me and my daughter both kind of was looking like, and I kept on going. I see it. What I heard was she wants you to rescue her. That's what I literally heard. God said she wants you to rescue her. Now, I ain't know from what at the time, because I'm like, rescue her from what? Because she was looking stressed out. But God showed me that she positioned herself down there because she knew that's where I went. She was trying to, I guess she came right behind me, a little behind me, and she looked like she was winded too. And then alarm probably woke her up, Well, yeah, she probably woke her up out of her sleep or something. And she looked stressed out. And God said to me, she wants you to rescue her. I pulled off. I pulled off. And I'm like, I can't rescue the devil, no demons. I can't. Only God can save them. And this is not a thing where you cast out. That ain't what this is. This one that you move around and get away from. And then this thing being trying to kill, I ain't gonna say kill me, but mess me up because it's jealous. It's another one that feel like I got this, I'm able to do. People be in their situations, they be looking at you and feel like the way you seem like you take care of yourself and like the way you able to live and handle yourself, then they start getting in their feelings and getting mad and envious and jealous. And then on top of that, if you won't have nothing to do with them, you just keep them at bay, they don't like that. And then people don't understand they're the reason for their situations. They're the reasons. If you want to do better, then do better. Because sometimes they be trying to act like, what was that was on me the other day? How they feel like it should be them. Well, let it be you. Who's stopping you? But these people don't think like that. They want to keep, this is what God had to show me so clearly. They want to keep doing the devil's work. Listen, if you're doing the devil's work, let him bless you. You sold your soul to him. Why you ain't? Well, the devil can't bless you. Let me take that back. You know, people say the devil give blessings too. The devil is a liar. Them ain't blessings. Them is curses. Why you think they cursed? If you working for the devil, if you out here doing the devil's work, you out here being a witch, you out here being a energy vampire, just trying to pull off of people, manipulate people, trying to get what you can off of people, run game on people, out here just foul. No, I'm not down, speaking down on people who have issues with drugs and addictions. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm saying these kind of demonic entities that's have their drug addictions that they're okay with being in for the most part. And they trying to do nothing to come out. And even if they do try, because it's too hard, they just let it go so fast and just go hard back in with what the devil, how the devil use them. That's on you. If you seeing somebody who walking up right before God and you feel like, why God? You know how the ones that say, why God favor you? And they full of the devil. They ask, why you? Why God use you? Why God favor you? Why God blessing you? And they full of the devil and don't want to change. But they want to stress you out. But they want to stress you out because in this case, they stressed out over how favored you are. But you know why? Because what they see in you, they want. They want to be that. But they don't want to do. Y'all know the gist. They don't want to do what's necessary to be that. And then ask, why you? Because you doing the work. You walking upright. You doing your best. You moving away from the enemy and all whatever possibly hold he had on you, and wherever you may have been bound, you healing from traumas. You not letting him, you recovering from addictions. You know what I'm saying, kingdom people? You're not just letting yourself be bound. See, God will work with you when you work with him, when you let him work with you. He can elevate you. He can raise you higher. And then on top of that, kingdom people, you be going through all these attacks and all this spiritual warfare, and you still walking upright with him. You still walking with him. You still trusting him. You still saying, yes, God. Not them. They would never. And I hate to say that. I pray that they will, though. I pray that they will, so I shouldn't say that. But y'all get what I'm saying. You out here trying to do spells and do all this, paying people to try to curse somebody and cause a problem in somebody's life because you ain't doing the work you need to be doing. Because it ain't you. And you jealous. Anyway, candy picking. Let me leave that alone. Oh, some of y'all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was reading the comments and I got all off. I see your stuff, Lady Summer. Candace. My bad. I got distracted. Truth be told, he be working through them. Yeah, and I believe you're speaking to how even though the enemy be working through them, I don't know what you meant when you said that, because I don't know when you said it. But the enemy, even when the enemy works, God allows it. He uses it for good. He would use that thing. I'm just reminded, sit at my right hand while I make your enemy your footstool. Be like, you just go ahead and sit right here and watch me work. That's what God say. Watch me work. Since he want to be on one, I'm going to use it to bless you. That's what God does. That's why so many of your enemies are confused, scratching their head. Why that didn't work? Why everything we did, everything we tried to do, everything we put you to do, why ain't nothing work? Because God said, sit over here in my right side. Why make your enemies your footstool? Why she elevated? Why she seem like she going? Why she doing? Why she glowing more? Why she? And they looking stressed all the way out. They don't understand. But it's because God said, sit at my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. And what we do, just like Jesus did, we sat at his right hand. Like, okay, okay, God, do what you do. Don't we ain't finna be stressing. And if you ever was, you learning that too. Telling you came to people. Listen, I had to tell somebody the other day, you know what? I like not stressing so much better. And because I like it so much better, even when something happens and something come up, I won't even go there. I won't go there. I will not go there because I like this better. It's gonna work out. Whatever it is, it's gonna work out. It's gonna what is it called? It's going to smooth itself out. Even if it's something I have to do to make sure of that, then I just do it. I don't need to stress. Even if it means, okay, now I got to do something different, pick up from this and switch gears. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. I ain't getting ready to stress about it. Candace say, when the word is written on your heart, you can overcome all of the devil's obstacles and snares. Amen, Candace. That is so true. Thank you, Miranda. Hi, Savannah. Mr. Intricate say that part. I'm Turkish. No, I'm niggerish. That might sound crazy, but we have had similar situations with people. I could believe that. I remember you saying that before, Mr. Intricate. And then, God bless. God bless you too, Tiana. You already have me over here giggling, holding. Oh, thank you. I was listening to somebody the other day. She had me cracking up. Christy Jessie. Sometimes I watch her. She always had me laughing. And sometimes when she laugh, I laugh. But she be having me cracking up. Some stuff. So the other day, I watched something and I cracked up throughout that whole thing. And one of the things she said had me cracking up because she was talking about her now husband before they were married, and she had to back away from him because he had bad fruit. That's what she said. She said when she talked to him again, she was like, that fruit is bad. I was cracking up. She said that fruit is bad. I was cracking up, but I got it too. Because I be in that one looking, talking to him. Like, that fruit bad. But that fruit started going bad, and I'm like, So I have to, nope, I gotta go. Gotta go. I ain't finna be dealing with no bad fruit. Nope. You need some deliverance. You need to go through your process. And that don't mean I'm gonna be here when you get through it. I don't know. I'll never know what God doing. That's why I said earlier when I said relationships, and I was like, whatever. Because that ain't my focus. Listen, when it is what it is, and I be where I am when God had me there, it is what it is. When anything transpire, where it's time for me to rotate, move around, that's what I do. I learn what I need to learn from it and get out of it what I need to get out of it. I let it develop because it be developing something in me. But when I know God is saying and when I'm seeing stuff that ain't right, I'm up. But the last thing on my mind, in all honesty, is a relationship. It ain't never been the first thing on my mind. It ain't never really been that. But I got things to do. I'm focused. And then, you're being there, done that, and that, and that. And I mean, it'll come when it's God's timing. And he already showed me not when that's going to happen, but it's certain things that have to transpire in my life before it even come to that. God had already made me aware. And, so much so where he was letting me know that, when it's that when he gonna do it, because I really don't care about it. And I made that very clear to God. But when God say what he want to do, I have to be okay with that. But I'm not saying that I'm opposed to it, but I just ain't got time for no nonsense. Or no, I all that. I just can't be doing all that. I don't want to. And but God have made me aware you wouldn't even attract somebody that's not processed at this point. Because I done went through a lot of my processing. I just happened to be dealing with people that had not been as processed as myself. And then I done processed even more, you know. But God had me there for a reason. So I'm always okay with what I walk through, you know, in those situations. But honey, when that fruit get bad, listen, you ain't finna stress me out. I'm not going to be stressing out. I was thinking about that too. If you're in a relationship that's stressing you out, that was on me earlier. Listen, if God ain't in the midst and telling you to stay and just pray or whatever, and he doing something, he probably gonna be directing you out of it, because the enemy will, that's kind of what I was saying, use relationships to stress you out. And that God ain't in that mess. God is not, no. And if somebody bringing you stress or being stressed to you, I was reminded of, I probably shouldn't go here. Person that I used to be, whatever, before the last one, the person I was actually married to, the last one was a fiance. We hadn't even got that far yet. But I bagged out. But I was supposed to be there. But anyway, man, that thing was starting to get crazy. And it's like, and it just wanted me to just be there and take it while it just, see what it was too, what I learned. It thought because of the so-called love I had for it, that I would just take anything. It thought that I couldn't be alone or didn't want to be without it. Didn't necessarily want to, but if I had to. And it got that idea God had revealed to me eventually from a song. So I used to play these songs, listen to these songs back then, R&B. And I ain't necessarily, I could sing a song and feel the emotion of it and not feel like that personally myself, or not feel like that personally myself in that moment. It's just that I get what they saying and I like the song. But this person would think that I meant every little bitty thing. And there was this one song God pointed out to me in particular, and I couldn't mean everything because some of them were so were different, opposing messages. Like, how could that? But that person was bipolar too. But not diagnosed. I had diagnosed them. I could see it. But anyway, I was a little bipolar too. I diagnosed myself and dealt with it. Got that resolved within myself. But it was this one song. I don't know. It was by Tamar Braxton. Without you, something like, I don't know. I can't get it right now. What I do without you. I wouldn't want to do without you. Something like that. And God was showing me it was that song that made this person think that I wouldn't do it. I wasn't going to be able to do it without them. So they thought, oh, well, let me abuse you, mistreat you, do you any kind of way, because you ain't going nowhere anyway. So I'm mentioning it to say that's stress. When a person starts thinking like that, they want to stress you out and don't give two cares about you. But on a whole nother level, this ain't what I'm talking about per se, but what kind of person would take that in any situation, really, if they, oh, let me abuse, let me do. You got to be real dark and demonic. That's very diabolical to think because a person, but that is very common. That's narcissistic behavior. And narcissists ain't nothing, I call it a glorified demon. You know? A person's who riddled in demons, really. But and the reason why I say glorified, because we give it a whole, this narcissist name. And I just say it because that's what, the name that's being given to it. But that thing was trying to stress me out, like literally. And the reason why I mentioned that initially is because that was a relationship. But I was like, and I seen that demon that demon was going, them demons, let me say that, because it was a gang of them. It was a lot of them. And I remember I let them know, you got demons. I told them, because I could see them, and God was showing me. And I mean, one day he said, everybody got demons. That demon said, everybody got demons. I'm just looking like, I ain't saying nothing. But I'm thinking like, no, they don't. It's a lot of people that got them now. Everybody ain't got demons. Just because you got demons don't mean you keep them. But I think I was more at that time paying attention to everybody. So everybody go run in the building that's on fire. You're going to run with everybody and go run in that building too that's on fire. That's what I was thinking in the moment. But anyway, that's just saying, deal with it. Deal with it. Because everybody got them. That fruit was bad. It's like, I gotta go. But I said this here before. That was a job disconnecting myself from that disaster. Because it became disastrous. That was a work. Yeah, that was a work. I did like little by little. I got myself out in pieces, and I was still dealing with them while I was getting myself out until I couldn't take no more. And I really seen it. You know, you come to that place where you see that thing for what it is, and you know it's not going to change. And something you just clicks, and your spirit just can't no more. It's almost like you give up the ghost, but you didn't give up the ghost. You gave up that demon or that person, that entity riddled with all them demons. That's what I really literally released myself from that. And then I can remember reaching out to them some time after I released them. And it was just, I don't want to go into all that. It was just a few interactions, but one in particular when I reached out to him. And I don't know why. The Holy Spirit just told me to. And I realized why actually after. Because that demon was like, I could feel, this person had a thing where I could just feel what they had going on in them. And so I'm noticing this how they felt like they was trying to hold back, holding in. And I was noticing it. Like, yeah, talking it. But I could tell I could feel their energy. And what God showed me later is it was a thing where they caught themselves trying to hold back for me to lean forward. It's almost like want me to press the issue. And the more that this person did that, the more I fell back. But God would have me initiate certain things at times so I can see certain things. Because I needed to see this thing in action. I needed to analyze it and assess the demons. Anyway, people, let me get out of here. It's been a minute. Wow. Did y'all hear that water going down my throat? It was like, Excuse me, Kingdom people. I was thirsty. I've been talking for an hour and 39 minutes, and I haven't had no water. And I drink a lot of water, Kingdom people. Anyway, Kingdom people, the enemy wants to stress you out. But don't let them. Don't let them. Choose the good part. And it will not be taken from you. Choose Jesus. I was listening to a young man earlier today. Tripped me out because God had already given me this message. He had been speaking to me about it. I say since last week. But then he really started talking to me about it yesterday. Moving and going on in today. I was listening, to a young lady today. A young man earlier. He said, because you won't focus on what they want you to focus on. And part of what he included in his message is stress. They want you to focus on stress, on things that's, and I was like, it was just like confirmation. But he pointed out And let me tell you this, Kingdom people. Sometimes I don't mention names. Always, sometimes I do. You heard me say Christy, Jesse, but I only do that when God moved me to. Also, sometimes it's for protection because I don't have, but there are monitoring spirits that watch, and I don't want to say too much about it, but some of y'all kind of can understand what I'm saying. So certain names I won't mention if God don't say, simply because I don't know. I'll just be protective if God don't tell me to say names of certain ones. But that I may share, something that I heard them say. But he did point out that um, to point out, focus on God, focus on Jesus. Oh, and that's the other part that had occurred to me. God gave me, but I didn't write that scripture down. How he saying, those who mind is stayed on him, he would keep them in perfect peace. And put your mind on those things that are good, that are pure, that are above, all those kind of things. And God was speaking to me those things earlier to me, but God said to me, he said, now you can't constantly be thinking about those things because there's other things to do. But he was saying how do that, make sure you take your time out to do that, do that for the most part. But he was saying but when you have stuff comes and it's a situation where the enemy trying to stress you and you know it, and maybe you're tempted to get stressed, focus on me instead. Focus on those things that are good, that are pure, that are above. Because if you keep your mind on him, he will keep you in perfect peace. And then just like Isaiah 26:3 says, you would keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. So steadfast in the right things, and you trusting in God. And even when a stressful situation come up, that could be potentially stressful, we'll say, you trust God. So instead of stressing, trust God. Instead of stressing, put your mind on God. Instead of stressing, meditate on this word. Meditate on these scriptures that tell you what he say he gonna do and what to do in them. Just meditate on what's good, what's pure and above. That's a good report. Those things that you put your mind on, because the devil wants you stressed out and he wants you to be focused on that thing that he's trying to use to stress you out. Okay, people, the enemy want to stress you out, but don't stress. Don't stress. Anyway, Kingdom people, that is all I have to say about that. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Julius. Ugh. You wearing a wig, you look like a knock move, whatever that is. Yeah. A lot of us look like that. And we okay with it. But we ain't here to please you. We ain't here to if you don't like it, you know what you could do? Keep going. Don't stress yourself out. Because I definitely won't. That ain't even nothing to be stressed over. Nobody care with nobody. But people just trying to throw out insults. It's just, I think it's weak. It is. Like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? You need some attention? People that throw out insults really don't feel good about themselves, though. They really don't. God was reminding me that I'm finna go, y'all. Was showing me that about a certain person that would say these little things to me. I haven't talked to this person in a while, but they do say little certain things. I would notice it. But what I knew about this person, but it really showed me that they didn't feel too good about themselves. So they would try to say little things to try to, people be saying little things trying to knock at your confidence, knock at your self-esteem. That's because theirs have been knocked at. They don't feel good about themselves. And there's something about you that reflects that back to them. So they have to say or do something to try to chop at you. Your confidence, your self-esteem, so to speak, your, who you are. But they don't work on people that know who they are and sure themselves and don't care nothing about what somebody else thinks. But furthermore, know that people that do that, don't feel so good about themselves. So they want you to feel not so good about yourself either. Anyway, candy people. Look, Tiana said, make them sick when Holy Spirit pick them out with and for me too. Acknowledge him in all my ways. I know, right? Wigs, yep. Come on, you better say that because God will help you. He'll help you find you a good wig. This young man that I will watch sometime, I know here and there I've heard him say that they're, I forget the word he used, wigs are, because some of them are sacrificed, the human hair, some of them are sacrificed to idols in certain countries. Not all of them, and God not gonna lead us to those. I'm like, listen, especially as black women, we be having to preserve our hair, keep our hair healthy. For years, I know me personally, and from where I come from, we was tearing our hair up with perms and all that, and heat and whatever else, messing mine up. But got it back right. Our hair done now. It's I keep it cut short low. I might let it just grow out just a little more. Last time I went and got it cut, the lady that do my hair, she was like, oh, she didn't want to cut it. She was like, it's so cute. You got your little fro. I was like, it is kind of cute, isn't it? But I'm like, no, I'll cut it off. But it's healthy. I'll cut it off because I got tired of always just having to wash it. And I still have to wash it. Then I'll just braid it because I will wear wigs. Just took care of it and kept it okay. And I had burnt it a little bit in the front from my perm several years ago. And I remember this person I was talking about just not long ago that was sailor stuff. They said that to me one day because I had my hair in a ponytail and I was in my own hair. And the person said, because it was like a little bald spot right there. It's kind of recovered now. It's a lot better. But this person said, you got a bald spot. And it was just like real weird. Like, who does that? And I'm thinking to myself, but I knew that's what I'm saying. This person would say little stuff, just different stuff. And I just would notice it. But they was trying to, but I'm thinking to myself, I ain't say nothing to them. I just noticed it. But I look at myself every day. This man, you think you had to tell me that? And by the end, it had gotten a lot better, but it was still kind of thinned out right there. But it was just weird. But this person was a person they were just on me recently, and just like God was just pointing out how they like to point out the flaws. This person told me one day, "Oh, your handwriting is terrible," and I think it's stemmed from God was showing me how. I'm just gonna leave that alone. God tell me to leave that alone, but people will try to tear you down. God's glory came through suffering. A woman's hair is her glory. Amen. Amen. And I was thinking about that after I cut mine off. But I'm like, I got this hair. I don't know if it's sorry, but it's cool. I still have. But let me tell you something that's interesting. I wanted to, initially, I was, how the people that cut, the ladies that the hair cut real to their scalp, not bald, but really to their scalp. I wanted to do that. But God was telling me, but man wouldn't go right with like that because of the texture of my hair. But that's what he gave me, how the woman's hair is her glory. So he was just saying, just leave some hair up there, girl. Leave some hair. Because I'd be like, just take it off. But it's good the way it is. I might grow it back out. I don't know. I just don't be wanting to do. It's work. It's work. It's work taking care of it. And it's easier this way. It's easier the way this is. And I have a lot of things going on to where I don't put, I just have a lot of stuff that I got to do. And it's not like it was just more of a chore. It is self-care too, but it was a chore self-care. That's how I felt. That's how I was starting to feel. So let me just ease myself up some. And then I wanted it. I wanted the look of it. So anyway, y'all, I ain't ready to stress y'all out talking about no hair. Kingdom people, I love y'all so much. Y'all just hanging in there with me and my little shenanigans. Talking about hair and wigs and ball spots. Oh, but this is a person that I love. You know, I still love them, even though I had to move around them. I love them. And because of who they are, yeah, I love them. But it's just, it is what it is. Anyway, kingdom people. You just got in on the last part, Whitney. Well, you got in on my shenanigans. Welcome. You don't have to explain yourself. That's what they don't like. I'm just sharing, Mr. Intricate. I'm not what. Oh, you talking about for them. I mean, period. Yeah, you're right. I don't have to explain myself, but I'm sharing my, sentiments on the matter. That's all. That's all. I'm not big on explaining myself, but I will share what I feel like I want to share or feel led to share. Anyway, Candy Pigment, I appreciate you though, Mr. Intricate. I get where you're coming from. You want to be extra. As long as you don't try to stress me out. Because then I'm going to put my mind on things that are above, things that are pure. That I would do every time that stress comes. Going right there. Oh, my God. Well, Kingdom people, I can't believe I've been here for almost 2 hours. When God told me to go live, I did not know he was meant almost 2 hours live. But a lot of that, the last part of that was me and my shenanigans. So, and Mr. Intricate being extra. Anyway, kids, people, let me wrap this up. Listen, serious business now. The enemy want to stress you out, but you're not going to let them. You're going to keep your mind on things that are pure, that are good, that are above, because he will keep you in perfect peace. Those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in him. That's Isaiah 26:3. Matthew 11:28-29. Come unto me, all you that labor. If you do get distressing, if you do get weary, if you just whatever you got going on now, that applies to many things. But that's what we're speaking about now. And our heavy laden, don't let that stuff be stressing you out, making you heavy. But just by chance, you get there, come unto him. And he said he will give you rest. Release it to him. Give it to him. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Learn of him, which you are already doing, but continue to keep your mind on him. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls in him. In him is rest for your souls in. While the enemy wants to stress you out, you go ahead and find rest in your souls. And that is in him. In God Almighty, in Jesus Christ, our Lord and our Savior. And so, Kingdom people, now that is all I have to say about that. Kingdom people, I really appreciate you all being here. I thank you all so much for, just spending your time here. You could be anywhere, but you're here. And I really appreciate that. Now, Kingdom people, y'all know I love y'all so very much. I really don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my Kingdom people down. Now, Kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are untouchable, we are unmovable, we are unstoppable, and we are unshakable. Keep growing, keep going, and go and be great. Kingdom people, that is our time. This Jesus girl is out. Shalom and peace. 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 Love you, Kingdom people.